your body's regulation when stress enters is through the neuroendometabolic circuits. There are 6 different physiological circuits that regulate this, and the biochemical is quite complex, okay? If you don't have this well regulated, then adrenal fatigue is one of the end results. Inflammations and food sensitivity can also be part of the clinical picture. Why? Is because when your adrenals are not working well, your body tends to slow down, the liver becomes sluggish, and you're not able to break down products as well as food or supplements or medications that you take from your daily living, okay? So a lot of people will start to have sensitivities to sulfur, sensitivity to petroleum, chemicals, etc. And so we'll go through that. There are 4 different types of sulfur allergies. About 100,000 Americans have sensitivities to sulfides, okay? The reaction involves releasing of histamine into the bloodstream when you are exposed to sulfur. And this causes hives, swelling, etc. And, the hypersensitivity to sulfur drugs also is a problem. Sulfur drugs are widely used in urinary tract infection, okay? So you have to be very careful. But ultimately, the body gets rid of them. So if you are sensitive to sulfur, the question is why and where is it coming from? First, you have to eliminate before we go into that. Okay, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, high sulfur food, any kind of beans, lentil, peanuts, okay, turnips, onions, okay, eggs and dairy products, papaya, energy boosters such as coffee, even whey, buckwheat, and these some of the other things can be problematic. Okay, so low sulfur foods includes what? They include beef, duck, fish, chicken, shellfish, artichoke, eggplants, any fruits or melon, potatoes, sunflower seeds, brown sugar, fresh herbs. Okay, olive oil are also quite good. Okay, so vegetarians and vegans have to temporarily eliminate somewhat what are considered to be vegetarian staples, food that is high in sulfur in the vegetable categories, including some of the ones we mentioned above. So you have to pay attention. Okay, so some of them depends on your level of sensitivity. Some people are very sensitive, some people are not. Okay. The takeaway is that there are many, many choices, so having the right choices is helpful. Now, I want to bring up an item called glutathione. Glutathione is what we call the master antioxidant in the body. It donates electrons twice, and it salvages itself, and that's why it's called a master recycler. It helps with the liver. So it actually helps to strengthen the liver. Now, remember earlier in the discussion, we talked about how because glutathione is a sulfur derivative, and if you cannot process sulfur, you may not be able to process glutathione. But this is actually not 100% true or accurate all the time, because your sensitivity really is person-dependent and is dose-dependent. You do need some glutathione in the body. It's not zero, otherwise you'll not be able to survive. So having some glutathione, especially in the right form, is very important. You have to dose it properly, and then it will help the liver. And so many people do quite well. In fact, you help the liver to get used to some of the glutathione, which has some sulfur built in, and over time you develop sulfur tolerance. So that's actually a positive way, but you should probably seek your health provider's advice, okay? So that is what you should focus on. My liponano glutathione is one such formula. It's very nice, very good oral delivery in the small intestine of glutathione that we found excellent results. And it's for people with liver congestion, it's quite good. Okay. If you cannot take glutathione, what you can do is consider a fermented liver rebuilder. The fermented liver rebuilder is excellent because it is unlike glutathione. It works in a different pathway. It works through the milk thistle, a pathway which has been well studied. But as compared to regular milk thistle, it basically is fermented. What that means is that the milk thistle is put into a tank that allow fermentation and break down of the milk thistle itself. So over time, the absorption is much easier. Of course, it is a fermented, so some people may not be able to tolerate, but for those people who just have known sulfur issues but don't have other issues such as candida, the fermented liver rebuilder, and oftentimes we use it in combination, both the fermented liver rebuilder and the glutathione, and you take one and the other on alternate times, so you give the body a small amount, you rest, and so the body always are not kind of develop tolerance to any one of them. So between the liponano, glutathione, and the fermented liver rebuilder, that's a dynamic duo. And I'll put both links here in case you are interested. Okay.